Hello everyone, welcome to the Angry and Ornery Show. This is episode 8, if I recall correctly. If I didn't recall correctly, I'm sure I will be corrected shortly. Anyways, we're very happy to have you here, our live studio audience in Second Life, in the beautiful city of Avalon, in the Sim Staccato. I say that because it's a plug for my landlord, and if I didn't say it, we wouldn't get this space for free. So that is why I'm telling you it is a beautiful place. No, actually, it really is a beautiful place, and after the show, you should go about and check it out. I think you'd enjoy it. Lots of stuff to do here, including a huge gambling casino called the, what is that called? The Underground Gaming something, Industrial Game Complex, that's it. And you can win tons of money there, but... Anyways, we are also streaming this on live stream. The live stream is available when we tape this live every other Wednesday night, so you could watch it from a computer if you're not in Second Life. And if you are on the live stream watching this, drop us a line, tell us what you think. And if you'd like to be involved in our live studio audience, just let me know. Zoltan Mint, get on Second Life and send me a message and we'll get you here. Heck, we may even throw in some freebies for you too, because you're a newbie and newbies really need freebies. What else? After the show airs in a couple of days, it will then appear on YouTube, so you are welcome to watch it there infinitely on YouTube, where it will be edited and graphics and things will be added in. So that's our story. Let's bring out the other half of that story. Mr. Lionheart. Give him a round of applause, please.
You know, you kept saying us, but you weren't bringing me out, and I was kind of worried maybe something was happening there.
Well, us is a collective, meaning that everybody that helps out on the show, including our wonderful cameraman Florian, who we don't give enough credit to, do we?
No, we do not give Florian enough credit.
Well, speaking
but I think
of
we
credit,
just did.
I've told Florian that we're saving up Linden's, that's the monetary system here in Second Life, by the way, to buy him an actual camera here in Second Life so he can get these really cool shots and have all types of fun. So have you saved up any money yet?
I thought you were doing that.
See? There you go. So, Florian, we apologize. We still don't have the money for your camera.
I will sell a kidney.
Your kidneys are no good. You are a drunkard.
Okay. I said I was going to sell a kidney. I did not say I was going to sell my kidney.
Let's have a seat and start this show, shall we?
We shall.
So, what has been going on in the 2 weeks between taping with you, Mr. Lionheart?
Been horribly sick, have the plague, but enough of that. Nothing major and exciting happening. Lots going on in the world, but nothing personally with me. How about yourself?
You know, it's actually a good point when you say you have the plague or you're sick. One of the benefits of Second Life, getting together with people virtually, is that you do not have to be exposed to their horrible diseases. And I know in the past you've carried quite a few horrible diseases, Lionheart. So it's
I
good
have.
You're in Arizona and I'm in Ohio, but yet we can still have a conversation and not worry about these communicable types of situations.
Correct, except for the other day I coughed into a manila envelope and sent it to you.
I will not open anything that comes addressed to me by you, so...
No, it says it's coming from David Copperfield, so...
I despise David Copperfield.
How do you despise David Copperfield? Where does that come from? This is the first I've ever heard of this.
He is an arrogant asshole, and I have a magician friend, a new friend, Leo, in the audience, and I think he'll probably agree with me that David Copperfield is unapproachable, arrogant, and basically a douchebag. Along with Chris Angel, by the way,
I agree with you.
Who can only be worse, and that would be, the one famous magician that's worth millions of dollars that could be worse than Copperfield would be Chris Angel.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one, 100%.
Leo, are you going to go on the books on that, or are you going to stay quiet? We'll see if he answers. All right, so we've got some subjects to cover today, whatever time you are in when you watch this, and I think they're going to be pretty hefty ones. I'd like to start, and then I'll throw it over to you. Okay, Lionheart?
Please do.
So last night, this is fresh and easy to talk about, I suppose. Last night I watched the new RoboCop, the movie. I did not go see it at the theater. I figured it was a DVD watch. I basically categorize all movies now in either it's a theater watch or a DVD watch, or sometimes not even worth a DVD watch. But we watched it, my family and I, and I got to tell you that it would be an easy movie to pick on and pan and criticize, but wait for it, I liked it. I enjoyed it. I thought that it captured every bit of the original RoboCop from the, what was that, late 80s, 90s?
80s.
And 80s. And it actually propelled it forward a little bit with the whole, man versus machine thing. And I'm not sure if I was keen on the cast. Wasn't real thrilled about this Joel Kinnaman. Not sure. He plays Alex Murphy, the actual RoboCop. Whether he was talented or not, but he didn't have a lot of chance to act. He was very robotic. But Gary Oldman is in it, and Michael Keaton is in it, and I thought they were both terrific. Especially Gary Oldman, seeing him kind of do a little bit of a departure from what he normally does, playing villains and such. And I hadn't seen Michael Keaton in anything in a long time, so it was good to see him play the villain. And then the other cast member, Abby Cornish, the female, she's the wife of RoboCop. She looks exactly like Sharon Stone, and I thought it actually was a young Sharon Stone throughout the entire film. But if you want to see a good science fiction romp with a lot of the old RoboCop and a little bit of Almost Human, a show that we've talked about that was canceled recently by Fox. Was it Fox? Yeah.
Yes, it was Fox.
Yeah. Check out RoboCop. It's actually fun. Now, the other small problem I had was the director originally wanted it to be R-rated, like the original RoboCop, which meant there was, heinous gore scenes in the movie. It was all edited out down to PG-13, so I guess he was pretty angry about that, but budget overruns caused him to bow down to the studio, and they made it PG-13. So it's safe for, 12, 13-year-olds and up, but didn't have the gore the original RoboCop had, which kind of made it a campy, make fun of type of movie. But it was good, and I enjoyed it. So there's my review. You hadn't seen it. Have you seen it?
No, I did see it, and you actually left out two major pieces to that puzzle, and that Samuel Jackson's also in it.
Right.
And so is Jackie Earle Haley, who is known as Rorschach from the Watchmen films, or the new Freddy Krueger from Nightmare on Elm Street. They're also both in it, and they have very good, entertaining roles.
Right.
Well.
I guess I forgot. It's easy to forget Samuel Jackson because technically, I know he's in the movie, but he's a character beyond the movie. Is that how you could say it?
He's playing like that Walter Cronkite, angry
right.
news anchor thing.
He's on a TV set.
Right.
But anyways, good show. What did you on 5 stars? What do you give it?
I'd give it like a 2.5. I mean, it's a good.
Ooh, that's low.
It. Well, out of 4.
No, out of 5. I told you,
okay.
5 is the standard.
Okay, I'll give it like a 3. It's a good way to waste an hour and a half, or an hour 40 minutes, because it's not a long film. It's not something you're going to regret watching.
3.5. I'd give it 3.5 to 4. Just for the special effects alone, they certainly, made it a lot more believable than the original. So, all right, enough of that. What do you got?
So there is currently trouble a-brewing in comic book and movie land.
Oh?
Oh yes. So they have announced that Fox is moving forward with a new Fantastic Four movie.
Wait a minute. Fantastic Four, as
Yes.
in the Jessica Alba.
Yes, Jessica Alba film that came out a few years back. They're doing a, quote, reboot to the series again.
Wait. So Jessica Alba's not going to be in the new movie?
Correct.
Then I'm completely uninterested.
Anyways, so this has actually gotten kind of ugly because Marvel, who of course now has their own studio and they're working through Disney and everything and giving us these great films like the Iron Mans and the Avengers and, you know, the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. television series, they actually wanted the rights back and they couldn't get them off of Fox. And so Fox has announced that they're going to do this new movie and it's set to come out in 2015. With the choices that they are making with the film, a lot of people are very unhappy, and one of the large things, and mind you, I am just relaying news, I don't care one way or the other personally, but they have decided to turn one of the major characters into a colored gentleman now.
Okay.
Which is now domino affecting because they are going to have the Human Torch now be played by a colored gentleman. The problem with that
hold on. Lionheart, you're saying colored. Is it purple? Is it green? I mean, this is a term from 1962.
An African American gentleman. There's no you know what? Folks, I work for the government in the real world. There's no PC term I could have used because no matter what term you use, somebody will complain, and I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible. But, so
who's
now...
the actor?
He's a nobody. You know what? I looked him up, and he's never been in anything real. So, it's basically an unknown cast. And so, the first problem is now that's Sue Storm, the Invincible Woman, the character played by Jessica Alba in the first one.
Invisible
this is her brother.
Woman.
That's what I said.
You said invincible.
I said invisible.
Okay,
but anyways, so now they're going to play it up that this is an interracial mixed marriage background. Well, Marvel Comics is not happy with the fact that they've changed the ethnicity of a character. To take it one step further, they've decided to remodel the way the Thing, aka Ben Grimm, looks. And basically their new model is if you take the current picture of the Incredible Hulk from the Avengers and paint over it solid jet black. And so that's going to be their
this goes beyond casting.
No, this is beyond
African American.
Right, and then to top it off, Dr. Doom is no longer going to be after Reed Richards because of a horrible accident that happened in college. They're going to go with the storyline that Dr. Doom is a jilted lover. But instead of him being after the Sue Storm character, it's going to be that Dr. Doom was in love with Mr. Fantastic. And they are now making the character an alternative lifestyle character.
So let me guess, the Human Torch is going to be gay because he's a flamer?
Well, no. Dr. Doom is... I know, and I'm not going there. So, in response to all of this, Marvel Comics has now officially pulled their Fantastic Four comic book line. They have canceled the series. They are going to make no more books. They've pulled the artwork out of all their comic book studios, and they are no longer referring it to as one of their books. So due to what Fox is doing, they've officially killed the Fantastic Four comic book line. And
all right, so how can the movie be made without the endorsement? I mean, all Marvel movies start with the Marvel logo, and I heard that they were going to tie in every single Marvel character into the Marvel universe.
Well, that's the reason why this can happen is because Both Spider-Man and Fantastic Four are the film franchises are not owned by Marvel Studios. They're owned by Fox. So Fox can do with it whatever they want.
Why does the Marvel logo appear at the beginning?
At the new current movie, it will not. So, I mean, that's how badly they're bastardizing this. And I think it's going to be a horror show. I think people are only going to go see it to see how bad it's going to be, because they're ruining, storylines and.
Well, it's not a racial thing. It's not a sexual thing.
Right.
It's not it's not even any type of political thing. What you have here is just bad creative choices, and what you're saying is true. It's going to look awkward, and that's going to detract and distract from any type of superhero plot. But you know what, we could be completely wrong too. I mean, the proof is going to be in the pudding, and once that movie is up, and maybe it will be fantastic. I mean, they've changed comic book heroes in other films, and they've ended up with really good movies. So maybe it will turn out. Now, because Fox is helming it, I don't have a lot of hope, but you never know.
Right. No, and neither do I. So.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll find out.
Yeah. Well, I'm really looking forward to Guardians of the Galaxy, another Marvel tie-in that was next month already, right?
July? I believe so. It's going to be part of the big summer box office bash that's coming out.
Right. Well, the previews certainly, the trailers look hysterical. I love the main character off of Parks and Recreation, one of my favorite comedy sitcom TV shows. And then the other characters are just really, out there. Animated, well, literally in one case, or two cases. Vin Diesel does the voice of the tree guy, and and Zoe, I can never pronounce her last name.
Yeah, the hot girl.
Yeah, so it looks like it's going to be a really good movie. But anyways, so my turn, right?
Yes, sir.
I wanted to talk about Game of Thrones, if we could, because I just finished Season 3, which I know puts me a season behind most everybody else who gets HBO, but I do not receive HBO, so I wait for DVDs. But I do buy the DVDs, and I've watched the first 3 seasons faithfully. And I gotta say, the show has affected me in a very peculiar way. It's probably the first time, and I came close to it with like Breaking Bad, I suppose, and Walking Dead, and maybe Sons of Anarchy, but this show pissed me off. I mean, I got angry, and not angry because of the writing or the directing, which is marvelous. I don't think it can get better for television. It literally is like you're watching a small movie every time you watch the show. I mean, the sets are expansive and beautiful. Costuming is impeccable. The acting is every actor nails it. It's just perfect characterization and development of character. But I experienced the now infamous Red Wedding, which comes near the end of Season 3. And I don't know, is this technically falling into our spoiler alert, Lionheart, or not?
No, because it's long enough past.
Okay, well, I won't get into too much detail, but all I will say is that there was a wedding, and it was a trick to kill a bunch of people, and main characters died. But not just main characters, they just happened to be my 2 favorite characters. And that is Robb Stark and his beautiful wife. Now, the actress that plays his wife is gorgeous. I think she's probably prettier than Khaleesi, the Dragon Queen, which is, the #1 sex symbol, I guess, in fantasy fandom right now. But don't get me wrong, Khaleesi is very hot and very attractive. But I just thought this girl was so exotic, and she was a sweet, helping nurse-like character. And Robb Stark was manly and cool and charismatic, and I thought, man, if anybody's going to get the throne, it's going to be these 2, because they're perfect king and queen material. And they were slaughtered. I mean, brutally slaughtered, along with other characters, including his mother and a few other people. It was just this horrible bloodbath. And I was yelling for the first time, I think, in a long time since I've watched television. I was actually yelling at the screen. And my sweet daughter had to tell me to calm down. But I just couldn't believe of all the characters it had to be those two. And they did it so deliberately and so, what's the word, heinously, I suppose. It was just, oh, man, I'm still kind of stunned by it. So fast forward a little bit here, and you have the current season, which other people are watching, and I'm doing my best to avoid their spoilers, but I know what's going on. There's a episode called The Purple Wedding where some more main characters die. But apparently this past Sunday, an episode aired that something in it was something that happened so horrific that it puts the Purple Wedding and the Red Wedding to shame. I don't know what it possibly could be, but I guess it was so brutal and so nasty. Did anybody in the audience today see that last Sunday? I mean, don't say what happened, but just let me know if you saw it and maybe what you thought. But I really can't wait, because I believe what Game of Thrones has become is a forum for HBO to air, some of the most upsetting and shocking things they can air. I know True Blood kind of did that, and I mean, the original author, George Martin, he wrote, it was originally called A Song of Ice and Fire, and Game of Thrones was like the first book, and so they HBO kind of approached it. It was a very expensive project, so they did like the first couple of seasons, and it became a huge hit. And they did season 3, and then now, of course, they're on 4, and they're already signed on for season 5 and 6. So this has obviously got some staying power. Not powder. I need some staying powder. Do you have any? Anyways, I think that this is a force to be reckoned with. Probably one of the most watched and maybe record-breaking shows on HBO. I know you haven't watched it yet, Lionheart, but do you have any gossip from the background?
Yes. Apparently next season on Simpsons there's going to be a yellow wedding episode, and they're killing off a major character.
Was that this past one, or did you say?
No, it's coming. It's this next upcoming season that's going to be starting. They're going to kill off one of their major characters, and it's going to be called the Yellow Wedding episode after the Game of Thrones episode. And yeah, it's funny.
Well, I talked to a few of my friends that watched this past Sunday, and these are grown adults, by the way, and pretty stable type of people, not necessarily crazy nerdy fans like us. And they said that it was so distracting the next day that they had difficulties concentrating, like at work and things like at school and college and stuff like that, because of whatever occurred. Just shocked them into stupidity, I suppose, for a period of time. So I haven't heard that kind of reaction to a show really since Breaking Bad, or shows beyond that. But what shows do you think have that kind of impact, Lionheart?
It's been a while since there's been good TV that has the major impact where people talk about it for days after. I think Sopranos, which of course was another HBO series, was another one of those that kind of people talked about episodes for weeks after. And before that, I mean, it had been years since we had anything decent like that. There really isn't a lot of good writing that's happening on normal TV. I mean, granted, we talk about things like Almost Human and stuff like that, but I hate to say it, the cable networks with Breaking Bad and Walking Dead and Game of Thrones and HBO and stuff, they're really starting to find that good niche of writers.
Yeah, they're hiring the best writers they can right now.
Yeah, and people are talking about episodes, days, weeks, years later. I mean, people are still talking about the ending of Breaking Bad, and how many years has it been since the Sopranos has been off the air, and people are still talking about that series finale.
I certainly would be happy with a television that only received HBO and AMC, because it seems like they're the powerhouses of producing quality television just season after season. By the way, you mentioned Breaking Bad. Did you hear the latest rumor that Bryan Cranston leaked?
Yeah, that they're... You know what? I've never seen Breaking Bad, but of course I know what happened in the final episode. And I've seen the end scene, and as soon as I saw it, I said, he's not dead. And now,
well, for those of you that aren't aware and maybe are Breaking Bad fans, Cranston said, I think on a, not Twitter, but Instagram or something, that a fan asked, well, is there ever any hope of ever making more Breaking Bads? Of course, they're going to do the spin-off show,
Better Call Saul.
Better Call Saul, right, which I guess they're actually in production for right now.
Right.
But it won't be a real Breaking Bad show featuring Walter White and Jesse, the main characters. And he said, he says, I'm very excited about the future, and in fact, you never did see Walter White in a body bag being zipped up and taken away, did you? Which is true.
Which, and it's a cliched thing to do. I mean, a lot of series did it where they ended series where you thought a character was dead. I mean, I hate to really date it and go back, but when the original Dallas was on the air in the 80s, you thought J.R. Ewing died. And then, of course, they came back with TV movies years later, and it's like, nope, I'm not dead. I'm alive and fine. So...
It was a bad dream, right?
Well, no. It was attempted suicide. Is actually what it was on Dallas. But, and so who knows what the future's going to hold. Maybe Bryan Cranston will get bored one day, and they'll get a movie.
I'm really worried about a Breaking Bad Part 2 series, because honestly, the first series, I thought probably the best television show ever made. In a lot of ways, it actually changed my view of a lot of things. Certainly, the acting standards were set. I mean, they raised the bar, and I had a problem watching shows afterwards just because it was so good that it seemed like everything else was just so mediocre. But if a new show came out, I'm worried that it would be compared to the first show, and it would take some incredible writing, to pull that off and go another 5-6 seasons or whatever. So I'm almost wishing they would just let it rest, let it rest.
I don't think if they ever decided to bring, the characters back, I don't think in their future they're thinking of new series, maybe like just, 2 mini-series movies, something like maybe 4 hours long, something like that, just one storyline arc long of something. I don't...
Cranston did say that in Better Call Saul that there will be flashbacks that he will appear in, so we know that he's signed on for that at least.
Well, right, that's because the Better Call Saul series is actually going to take place basically the season before they actually introduce the character into the Breaking Bad series, so it's going to be running at the same time. So, they might revisit things that had happened that Walter White might have done, like, when the hospital or whatever blew up, or they did this of, showing you different ramifications of what happened. So, we'll see.
Well, before we end our show here, we only are supposed to do 30 minutes, but we got started a little late. You wanted to talk a little bit about the huge phenomenon known as Star Wars and the new movie that is currently in production. What do you got?
Well, of course, we all know that those infamous photos have now gotten leaked that kind of
TMZ.
That look like the Millennium Falcon being built as a set. And, of course, J.J. Abrams' funny reply to that was writing on a Post-it note, please stop spoiling everything with pictures. Just what you saw may or may not be the Millennium Falcon. But the funny thing is he had that sticky noted to the chess table that goes in the Millennium Falcon that Chewbacca and R2-D2 were playing in the first movie. So it was his little nod of saying, we're going to stop spoiling things, but here's one more for you.
Right. J.J. Abrams being the, politically correct fellow, he's like smacking the nerds' hands, but saying, I love you, nerds.
Right. I was very happy to hear recently that, they said all the classic actors were coming back, and God bless it, I love her, and I had a crush on, little Princess Leia when I was a kid growing up, and
Never did. I never did.
You never liked her?
I never thought she was attractive.
Why?
I don't know. I didn't see it. Everybody was gaga over her, and I never thought she was attractive.
What? Okay.
I think
so anyways,
Princess Amidala was hot.
So have you seen Carrie Fisher recently?
She looks just as bad, I think.
Yeah, she looks horrible, and she had, gained some weight and had some weight issues because of the drugs back in the day. But what was real funny is, and so did Mark Hamill, for Pete's sake. What was real funny is they are both now on strict regimens with professional trainers and trying to get back into shape so that way they can actually keep up with shooting an actual film. So I found that kind of funny when I heard that they're both going.
You're going to have to help me with names here, and maybe you can call up Google for this. But they just recently they just recently cast they just announced 2 new cast members. One of them is the black girl from the last year's Slave movie.
12 Years a Slave.
Thank you. Do you know her name? It's very hard to pronounce.
No, I can't pronounce it, and I'm not even going to attempt it.
Well, let me tell you, not only is she beautiful, but she is incredibly talented. Watching that movie, you're going to cry, and she's the one that's going to get you to cry. But she's just fantastic. I'm very excited that they cast her. So that's a great choice on Abrams' behalf. The other actress, there it is. It's Lupta something. Okay, we don't have the full name, but it will come to us, I'm sure. The other actress that they cast is the Paladin girl, the big, heaping, blonde woman from Game of Thrones. See how we tie everything together, folks? It's just amazing, our skills here. You'll know her from season 3. She's the girl that was guarding or capturing Jaime Lannister and fought him with a sword and blah blah blah. But anyways, she's like almost 7 foot tall, short white hair. I mean, I hate to say it, but both of these girls, I bet you, are going to be playing alien-like characters because they're just so unusual in appearance.
Yeah, they are. And what's funny is they've not, there's speculation, but they have...
Nyong'o.
Yeah, I posted it. I can't say it.
Yeah, I'll put it in post-production, but go ahead.
But they've not announced who any of these new characters are, any of these actors who they're going to be playing. There's lots of speculation. So
right. This is a script that is, you sign your life away if you reveal anything. I want to know how TMZ got the pictures of Millennium Falcon.
You know what? That was probably just one of those things that a carpenter was on the set working on it and happened to notice what it was, snapped a picture phone, and then
got paid $100,000.
Yeah, and it leaked out all over. He sent it to one friend, one sent it. That's what happens nowadays because, let's face it, you can take, photographer style quality pictures with a camera, with your phone anymore. So, right. Yeah.
Well, a lot of people, the industry especially, hates TMZ, and a lot of people can't stand it. But honestly, I love them. They're doing the work that a lot of other people are afraid to do. They're asking the embarrassing questions. They're getting the dirt on people. They're whistleblowing. They've revealed a lot of stuff, and some of it probably pretty important. A lot of it's just silly gossip and garbage, but the show itself that airs here in Cleveland, it's syndicated, and it airs here like after the news. It's late at night or whatever. I find hysterical because it's just basically a group of entertainment industry insiders who sit around and poke fun at each other and poke fun at celebrities, kind of like we do here, but on a much more bigger level and a professional level. And it's entertaining. I think Harvey, what's his name?
Harvey Levin. Harvey Levin. Yeah.
A lawyer and commentator on the Judge Judy show. Is it the People's Court? One of them.
People's Court. Yeah. He's actually a very intelligent man.
He's very smart. I have a lot of respect for him. He's incredibly intelligent, and he got extremely rich with this whole thing. So, go Harvey. And if you haven't watched it lately, it's really become more of almost like a sitcom. You get to know the characters that are sitting around the office, and they're just constantly making fun of each other. So it's a lot of fun. And, anyways, that's my take on TMZ. Anyways, any more on Star Wars?
No, they're just, they're getting it ready. I don't think they're really ready to go behind the cameras yet. I don't think that's going to happen for at least another year or so. That's my prediction. They haven't filmed anything yet? They're doing, early production shots, but I don't believe any true blue actor has been on set yet.
Do you think we'll be so bored to hell that we're just not going to care when the movie finally comes out?
I think what's going to happen is just the stigma of the other three films of Phantom Menace and everything. I think that's going to be a huge stigma to come over, and either A, you're going to be a diehard fan and you're going to want to see it, or B, you're going to go, I've had enough, and not give two cares. Right. So it's going to go either way.
Well, Lionheart, I've had enough of tonight, and I don't give a care. So why don't we say goodnight?
Good night.
You should stand up and be respectful and walk through a desk just like I did.
I'm sorry, I'm not magic, so I don't walk through desks.
I know. Well, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, studio audience, for being here and suffering through our jibber-jabber. We do this every other Wednesday, so in 2 weeks we will do this again. Again, it's streamed live on live stream, and you'll be able to see it on YouTube in about 2 or 3 days, hopefully, if everything goes as is expected. But thank you once again, and enjoy the rest of your week. Good night, everyone.
Good night.